Okay. Oh, hello. Earth to Bandy, are you there? No, your mic's not working. I can't hear you.
Gosh.
Oh, I heard a little bit.
We can both hear each other now.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty crucial step for interviews.
It is. You know,
Yeah.
hearing others talk.
Like, I could do an interview just like the voices in my head if you would like.
You know.
Do a psychotic breakdown on live stream or on video, I should say. So
Those tend to happen every often.
they do it. It's a part of life.
Right?
Right? So relatable. Oh my god. It's nice to finally talk to you. How are you today?
But yeah, I've been doing good lately. So what about you?
I've been good. Very tired, but I'm good. I was out all weekend, last weekend at a wedding. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but I put a lot of effort into being social, and now my social battery is completely drained.
I mean, that's something I cannot relate, because I already myself have social anxiety, so making any efforts to be sociable with other people is kind of bewildering.
Mm-hmm. It's a terrifying thing. People are scary.
Yeah, they are.
This whole interview just becomes us crying for like half an hour.
Having an existential crisis, just crying and shaking on the floor.
Just us crying, having like a mental breakdown, and you take it and turn it into a YTP with like MLB music over it.
Yeah.
We're just
You gotta get
weeping our
those
eyes out.
gamer moments, bro. Having a mental breakdown. This was sponsored by Doritos.
Welcome to SPACErview, the very unprofessional disaster of a show in which either I can't pronounce the person's name that I'm interviewing or I just get everything wrong. So that's what you have to
first
expect.
off, I'm pretty sure you can pronounce my name right. It's quite literally just it's the main character in some ink machine game.
But I'm gonna embarrass myself here really badly. Do you know the creator of Burner?
Zachary stuff.
Zachary.
Right?
Yeah. Right. I had an interview with him, and I am pretty badly dyslexic, and through the whole interview my brain couldn't pronounce his name. So the entire time they were just palm tree.
Jeez.
The entire time they were just palm tree. It was, yeah, that's cool, palm tree. And I even tried to make a joke, being like, yeah, palm tree, because I can't pronounce your name because I am verbally dyslexic, and I'm just gonna have to go with it at this point. But yeah, welcome to SPACErview. This is episode something. Put the number up on the screen, editor. I'm the editor. I'm talking to myself. The voices, they're loud. We're gonna be interviewing Bandy fans animations, or animations, which create a lot of YTP'S in the Objectshow community. They're pretty much the king of Objectshow YTP'S.
That's me. I've created a label for myself now.
Yeah, you've created a label of insanity. So is there anything you'd like to say before we get into the questions? Any way you would like to introduce yourself that might be a little better than my introduction?
Okay, sure, but you know, I guarantee my saying isn't gonna be as good as yours. So, but as I'm Benny Fan Animations, I'm the guy who makes a bunch of the poops you see on my channel. You're probably quite familiar with the oldest, the old TPOT YouTube poop that's gained like 2.5 million views now, which I'm still kind of altered by that.
Dude,
But,
that's great.
Hey, you know, don't let the name fool you, because I also do make animations. There's just 2 of them right now, but I will plan to do more once, you know, I apply for a few more shows. Right, yeah. And, you know, I guess some other things about myself. I'm a voice actor, storyboard artist. I'm a professional video and audio editor. And, I guess you can say I am animator. I really live up to my name now. It's Bandy Fan Animations. It's about time.
It's about time. What have you storyboarded for? If you have any projects?
Well, you know, when it comes to storyboarding, I haven't like done all that much except for like maybe 1 episode of a show I'm working on. It's Twilight Orchards. I'm sure you've seen the first episode of that.
Maybe. I might have seen it.
I guarantee, you know, I suggest that you go and see it because it's a pretty good show. It's not any of your, hey, do you want to battle for a prize competition shows and all of that. It's more of the slice of life things. You know, it's definitely 100% a wholesome show.
Okay, I'll have to give it a try. But you know what else is a wholesome show? The PACs, which you voice in now.
Right, yeah, I'm voicing one of your characters, one of the hyenas in the pack.
You voice Harry the hyena, which suspiciously sounds like Saul from BFD, which I think you were trying to do Morty, right?
Like Morty for Harry, like, oh geez, Aiden, I can't control my laughter. It really makes me feel ashamed.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because there's 2 versions of the episode. There's one that's an audiobook and one that's an animation, and you're going to be in the animation. But the audiobook is done by someone called the voice of Brad, and I told them to just do whatever they liked with Harry, you know, as creative freedom as much as they like, and the same character being interpreted by 2 different people is so extremely different because voice of Brad gave him this kind of laugh after everything he says, and this kind of croaky, almost like the voices from Lion King.
Of course, Evelyn, anything for you, Harry happily responded when he noticed Amanda standing next to her. Hello, Amanda. Sorry for annoying you and Aiden the other day. Oh, I really can't help it sometimes.
Kind of thing going on.
Yeah, so just like one of the hyenas from the Lion King. Yeah, I see what direction they were going with. I think that's a pretty fun turn.
I definitely think so too, and that's why whenever I heard yours, I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's so cool that 2 people can look at the same character and come up with 2 different things.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the interview isn't about the PACs now on YouTube. Check the link in the description. That's not what this is about though. You shouldn't worry about the PACs on youtube.com/the PACs. You shouldn't check it out on the website as well, link in the description. That would be awful. But anyway, I have a God, all jokes aside, the questions or the questions they were asking you they were awful. Like, I think the first 2 questions I got were like Burger King or KFC, or like, how are you doing today? It's like the 2 questions.
Yeah, that's the 2 questions that we got.
Yeah. Pretty much. Like, I felt like just coming on here and be like, how are you today? Do you like KFC or Burger King? Okay, well, it was good talking to you, man.
Yeah, join us next time for our next space interview.
Yeah, okay. I have some interesting questions for you.
Okay.
I have 6 of my own, and then originally I was going to take some from fans. But then...
Yes. Somebody asked for, hey, what do you prefer, McDonald's or
I
KFC?
know! Oh my god, I could ask my fans for anything and they wouldn't give it to me. But if it's one, like, if it's something that will annoy me or something against me or my, like, just it'll upset me in some way, they'll do it. If they have any way to bully me, they'll totally do it. But if I ask for help, they'll just be like, nope. Actually, what is your answer to that? What's better, Burger King or KFC?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. If we're already gonna pull out the viewer questions, I might as well answer them.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like really a kind of a slam dunk answer on this one. Like Mickey D's, McDonald's. If if you're an American, honestly, I'm not. No, I'm not saying I'm like much of a fan of KFC. I've just like never been like fond of like chicken. I'm just not much of a meats person,
That's okay. Another viewer has asked, "Are you okay? How are you doing?"
I don't know. This is a space interview, not a therapy session.
How does that
But
make you
hey,
feel?
if it makes me feel great. It makes me feel great.
How's your relationship with your father?
Another
So, number one is, how did you learn about YouTube poops in general, and what got you into creating your own?
Well, I think, when it came to, I think you came across YouTube poops just by, searching up and watching them on YouTube. I grew up with watching a lot of old YouTube poops. I think specifically like the quote-unquote Spingebill YouTube poops. It's just like a very chaotic, like story-driven SpongeBob YouTube poop. It really goes all over the place.
I remember
right.
I can't remember the actual name of it. It was like a weird Legend of Zelda old cartoon where they turned it a load of YTP's. If you ever watched
Yeah,
those.
you're talking about the Zelda CDI games. Yeah, I definitely remember watching those along with the Hotel Mario ones.
Oh my god, yeah.
So that was a very hot time for YouTube poops.
That was a great time for the internet in general.
But yeah, I mean, so nowadays, what's got me, I mainly took a lot of inspiration from like, more modern age YouTube poopers, like Yoshi Maniac or Two Bob Bits or Waltzman, Flying Kitty. I'm pretty sure you don't know a majority of those YouTube poopers, but
oh, I recognize a few.
Okay, yeah, good. And there was also a few other YouTubers who were also in the OSC who made YouTube poops along with me, like Paper Mario Party, Objectshow YouTube poop, some person on the internet, Cypher, Eli. There was we did both of them I actually did a collab with on the Inanimate Insanity YouTube poop, so it was nice to work with them.
Oh, very cool. Like, there's such a big community for just creating these beautiful messes of edits. I guess the only way I could describe a YTP is a fever dream.
Right, yeah, it is, because you're expecting loud noises and vulgar humor, like all like off the walls visuals. You can expect a lot out of that.
Yeah, you actually kind of answered two questions at once there, because the next question was going to be what kind of Objectshow creators inspire you.
Oh, well, yeah, that answered the questions. But,
yeah.
Paper Mario Party, Eli, Cypher, some person on the internet. All those, I think those were like specifically, for YouTube poops. There's still like a majority of other like YouTubers that inspired me to make this channel in general and just join the Objectshow community. You got your basics: Jack and Jellyfy, Animation Epic, Fusion Animations, Webs for Revs. Yeah, those are the top 5 that I named off the top of my head.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So when you're creating these beautiful works of art of utter chaos and destruction, what goes through your mind when you're watching like the say you're making a YTP on like just a BFDI episode? When you're just watching it normally, do these kinds of jokes already come to your mind and you know what you're already gonna edit, or is it just off the whim in the editing room?
Yeah, I think the funny thing about that is I used to go like off the wind and just do whatever comes to mind with the much older like BFB YouTube poops. Just when episode BFB 2 and 4 we're still out and making bank all the views. But now that's I have a much more larger mental capacity for making said crazy fever dreams. I gotta put like I gotta get into a right mindset and maybe even watch a couple of other YouTube poops that people have created, and then I look back on the source material of said BFDI or BFB TPOT episode, and I have to think, yeah, okay, what's gonna work with this scene, because we've, especially when it comes to like making like one specific joke, you're like, I think this joke has been like done like so many times already, but you gotta cram something in to fill in that 10-minute mark or 5-minute mark or anything. So, right, yeah, and sometimes it'll just be like just a bunch of like looping clips together with the pitch format changing every second, and I'll just consider that a joke. Changing the visuals.
It's funny though, it works.
It does, because it was all part of the old YouTube poop format. And I guess sometimes I'll also like add an explosion for no apparent reason. Like, hey, a character does this thing. Let's make it explode into 15 Gs.
I just like the idea of you watching like the new TPOT episode and you're like, this is great, I just kind of wish they all exploded.
I mean, hey, I think that dream has kind of come true when watching the new Algebraian shorts. I mean, did you see Nine crash his motorcycle into the tree? It just explodes.
They're doing your job for you.
Exactly. I don't even need to make the jokes here. They're doing it basically for me.
Yeah. You need to add another green screen explosion over that explosion. Will there be or do you have any plans for a YTP of BFDIA 6?
Oh yeah. The recent BFDIA episode. There is actually well, it's probably not a secret if I'm gonna tell you, but there is an old BFDIA 1 YouTube poop that I made back when I was still like making all the older BFB YouTube poops. So I guess looking back, I could plan to like make a YouTube poop series out of that. Then again, I'll have to be funneling around like four YouTube poop series.
Oh god.
There's BFDI, BFDIA, BFP, and TPOT.
Oh no.
So actually, which by the way, for BFB specifically, I can. It's like been taking like quite a long while since I've came to the decision that I wanted the since the BFB 15 YouTube poop, I wanted to see if I can try to do like a bit more of a story driven catch to it, because in BFB 15 it was like, hey, look at this video where everyone is dying and drowning in the lava. It's just all death. So I wanna try and capture that feeling into the BFB 16 YouTube poop.
Kind of tell a story in that chaos.
Right. Yeah, that's the that's the idea. Like I even got a BFB20 YouTube poop where they just travel into space and all this wacky sci-fi stuff. And then there's BFB22 where it's just practically a Better Call Saul parody.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah, I think it's super creative that you can watch BFB, for instance, that already has its own story, and then morph that into your own thing.
Right.
It's almost like you've gotten a script and you've morphed it around to create your own, and that almost sounds a little bit more difficult than writing your own script from scratch, because you have to work with what's already there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got the source material right there. You just gotta improvise a whole script for it.
Yeah. It definitely seems like a kind of a new form of script writing, or a new form of editing in general, because like yourself, there's a lot of people out there that just mainly focus on YTPs and will build a career on that. And it's such an interesting thing, because it's not just as simple as write a script, do the storyboard, animate it, whatever. You already have an existing script, you just need to have fun with the material you'll have. It's almost like you're playing with a giant bucket of Legos, just trying to create your own stuff from it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like practically what the whole idea is. It's just you got again like I said, you got the source material, and you have like your own imagination to work with. So you get to work. I think one of the more the major things when creating like said so story driven YouTube poops is a thing called like masking. So, I think it's like a really helpful tool for creating those. Just like mask out the character you want and like put them somewhere like in a completely different like location and all of that. You can have like characters do a different thing compared to what they did in like said episode, and you can have like this character like go and do this thing with the other character. It's just all going up the head. Like it's really improvised.
Oh yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Just I think the kind of Lego bucket is a good example. You're just pulling parts out there and trying to create your own thing without any instructions, and it can lead to something that's even sometimes funnier than the source material. Honestly, what you do takes a lot of talent, and you do an amazing job on it. So
yeah,
you need to pat yourself
thank you.
on the back.
Yeah, thank you, because again, I think that's what it takes. You don't really have to try hard, to create something good. And I think originally I was going to like make like a full-on script and be like, okay, so this is how the YouTube poop should happen. But then you realize, with the limited amount of source material, you got like 20 minutes to work. Maybe not 20 minutes, but you have a whole 20-minute episode to work with, and you are pretty limited on the resources. So even with good script in mind, it's probably like not gonna happen. So you don't really have to try all that hard. You just go with the flow.
Because if you kind of write out this detailed, kind of strict script on how you want it to go, you might not be able to find the parts in the bucket to make that happen without.
That's right. Yeah.
First.
Otherwise, it won't turn out as fun as you initially thought. It's like practically a whole other video. It's not a YouTube poop. It's just an animation now.
Yeah. You've just created an animation at that point. But it really is such an interesting new medium that has came out, because it's so different than just traditional script writing to animation to kind of typical editing process, and I think it's going to become, well, already has become such a huge genre in its own right. I can see that kind of sense of humor of YTP's kind of leaking over to different mediums too, because it has its own kind of sense of humor that you can only get through a YTP. Like if you're just watching a random movie and the main character just says "Sus," it's not gonna be funny unless it's in a YTP.
Right, yeah, they just added Sus for no reason.
Sus seems to be the default. Where did Sus come from?
I don't know. I feel like this like Sus joke has been like main frame with it might as well have like gotten back to like older YouTube poops. I can see like a lot of people making this joke, making characters say Sus because, you know, haha, funny Among Us word.
It's really changed our humor that just Sus Among Us is actually funny to some people now.
It really has. It really has changed the way we look at humor. How did we like go from like old millennial MLG memes to like Gen Z humor, like me and the boys at 3 a.m. looking for beans?
I know! Like, I love whenever people now will be like, God, old people back in the day told really complex and annoying jokes that just weren't funny at the end of the day. Their sense of humor was so weird, and then they'll turn to each other and go, ha! Among Us!
Right. Yeah, they just like hear some old tale of like, it's like this old guy's like sense of humor back then. It was like, back in my day, they used to have this dancing banana that said, "It's peanut butter jelly time."
Oh God, that's not old. How old is that now?
Oh, trust me, it's gotta be old, but you know, it might as well not be old now with the you know, the shovelware brain game thing going on in Roblox.
Oh my God. Oh, that's true. I'm gonna have to look this up now so I can know how old I am. Oh my God, 2004. I was 3 years old.
What did I tell you? It was in the middle of the 2000s.
Awful. I've never felt more old in my entire life. I walked into this like geek game store that sells like different like gaming merchandise and shit, and it had like a Five Nights at Freddy's plushie line, and next to it had another game called, is it Piggy?
Oh Jesus. Not that game.
Yeah, and I didn't know what this was. And then next to it, it had loads of Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, but it had like Empire State, or not Empire State Building, like Liberty Chica and Fireworks Freddy. And I'm just looking at all this, like, how old am I? I don't remember any of this. When did this come in? What is any of this?
They turned the animatronics into true Americans.
Oh God. The next question was about learning editing in general, and how long it took you to get into editing as good as you do, and if you have any tips for people starting off editing in general.
The thing that helped me get where I am, it was just a bunch of self-improvements. You know, I looked at a lot of, you know, I watched a lot of old, you know, even modern YouTube hoops, and think, okay, you know, if they can make, you know, this joke happen in the video, then, you know, maybe I can. And, you know, I think maybe, you know, 2020 me would say, no, you can't, that's impossible. But, you know, looking back, you know, like 3 years later, you're like, oh, you know, I'm very familiar with the equipment around me. You know, I can basically do what I want. And, you know, I think, you know, when, you know, it all started for me, it was like pretty difficult because, you know, I was just getting started and I was like still very, you know, pretty familiar and like just getting down to the basics and everything. I wasn't like a comedy genius, you know, just adding a bunch of, you know, stutter loops and vulgar content in it. I mean, that's what the kids like these days in YouTube hoops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I think actually the earliest time I was editing, it wasn't 2020, it was in fact 2018. And that's when I got my hands on Sony Vegas and the whole editing genre thing in total. That's when I finally moved out of my anime phase. And, like, good riddance to that, because I'm in a way better place now. I would have been like pretty like in a pretty bad state if I continued down making weird anime elimination episodes. With TPOT, it's got 2.5 million, and then there's my second attempt at animating, which, by the way, you guys should check out. It's on my channel. It's the second video. That gained at least 35,000 views.
Wow.
And I think I'm probably just not answering the question to my learning editing techniques, but as for like giving tips and everything, I probably like can't give out a lot, because it would all need to be like written down on a script. But I think one day I will plan on like making a video on how I do these YouTube poops, and I'll give some tips and tricks, such for like a lot of things to help other people who are starting YouTube poop, like masking and color correcting, cookie cutter shapes. I'm pretty sure you've also seen those in a majority of old YouTube posts, all of that stuff.
Well, if you don't want to miss that video coming up about how to make YTPs, you should go subscribe to their channel right now. Link below.
They'll be notified. I have like 32.7 thousand subscribers now.
Damn. Yeah, that's insane. Well done. Like, honestly, you deserve every one of them. Like, what you've been creating is not only just hilarious and insanely creative, but it takes a lot of talent behind it. You really should pat yourself in the back. I remember it was like a running joke in my friend group, literally just to look at each other and go, "Sus." I think it literally still is now, where we'll just be sitting in silence and one of us will go, "Sus," and then just walk out of the room.
Like just hysterically laughing, like we've made the best unscripted joke of all time.
Yeah,
like,
we've told the best joke of all time. Like, honestly, I think my friend group and I say friend group, it's literally just myself, Roman, and Nathan. But shout out to them, they're pretty amazing people. We'll just go into what we call NPC mode, which is just pretending to be NPCs at random points in conversations from Skyrim. So
who there? Finally awake.
That's pretty much it. We'll just be sitting there, and like I'll be talking to Roman, and then Nathan will walk in and be like, "Guards, help me!" Sus! And then just leave. And then that, like, we'll think it's the most hilarious shit in the world.
Like, stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch. Like, that's just the entire, like, NPC script.
It's just the entire thing. It's so beautiful. Like, if you don't have friends that are basically walking, talking YTPs, then they aren't real friends.
Yeah, just scratch them, get better friends.
Just get better friends. Like, if they aren't making Skyrim references all the time, then what's the point? Yeah, I think it's definitely a beautiful inside joke that has become a thing. And then I'll do it in public, which will just embarrass both of them.
Wait, you'll what? You'll do it in public?
I will.
I won't even have like. Sorry. Go ahead.
I will, like, we'll just be in like a game store, and then I'll pick it up in like a weird like animation, almost like how a Skyrim character would pick something up and be like, "You stop! You violated the law."
Pay the court a fine.
I'll serve your sentence. And it's just, they'll just look at me and go, "Ed, no, not now."
Like, nah, should we call security on this guy? I'm scared.
What do we do about this guy? He's walking in 30 frames a second. I don't know how to deal with it. So I guess the final question I have here is, kind of a roundup question for the interview is your thoughts on just your journey overall on YouTube. You know, you've made it very big in the Objectshow community. What's your thoughts on how far you've come?
You know, yeah, that is a really interesting question because, you know, honestly, I didn't really expect myself to, you know, come along this path, and just, you know, inspire and inspire and just make a lot of people laugh from my videos, which I don't think I was able to achieve, you know, with the much more older videos. So, you know, getting all this recognition, especially, you know, at least I've even been giving some sort of recognition from the, you know, the bigger I wouldn't say idols, I was just say bigger people in the Objectshow, you know, like Satomi, Whoopdoo, Snowball was one of them, and then Odyssey 10, Scuba Butter, you know, I think yeah, and you know, honestly, with those, you know, right, yeah, sorry, this is completely improvised answer,
Okay,
but you know, I am very proud, you know, to be where I am right now, because you know, if I was just stuck on this same path of making mediocre anime videos, then you know, I wouldn't be in this spot right here. You know, now I'm doing both, you know, my own videos that I enjoy doing, and now I'm you know, I guess I am kind of a bit of a star. I'm voicing in a few object shows and other pieces of media in general. I'm starting to storyboard and animate more. I think, you know, it's really great to, you know, see myself, you know, come that you know, you know, just be in that moment, you know.
Yeah, you've really come a really far way, and actually the ending question I always ask people is, you know, what makes your work stand out from others, and what makes your content special. But I feel like you've already answered that with how passionate you are about editing as a whole and the community, and how proud you are of how far you've come. And I honestly think that what you do is so difficult and is so creatively demanding. You just do it so well, and you definitely do deserve all the subscribers,
Yeah.
and likes, views that you have. You do amazingly, man. You should really give yourself a pat on the back.
Right, yeah. Because it's really not easy just, you know, to create YouTube poops like these, you know, especially the longer ones, the TPOT ones, both episodes are 20 minutes long. That's a time mark that I didn't think I'd be able to, you know, reach. But you know, I take my time with them. You know, I'm pretty passionate with trying to make each joke funny, you know, at least funnier than the previous one. And you know, I guess I kind of look back, you know, sometimes I'll look back on the old poops and say, hey, you know, these really helps me, you know, get off from the ground and, you know, start a career of this thing that I enjoy doing a lot.
I'm just thinking here, I know this is it kind of goes past the final question, but you brought up a point there about looking back at your past work. Always as an editor, you know, you're always getting better the more you do it, and the more videos you make, you're always kind of homing your craft. And that's the kind of same way I feel about the animations I make. But personally, I find it a really hard time to look back at my old animations, like the first series I ever made of like the family of wolves and stuff, because it's so, I don't want to say terrible compared to what I make these like now, but it's almost like embarrassing to look back at that, as your old kind of pieces of work. And it's nice to hear that you don't have, well, at least, do you have that problem, or do you relate to that, or what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't really have like a majority problem with the old videos. I guess it's like specifically just old BFB YouTube hoops. I think what crosses the lines at me just not liking my old videos in general is just like the very old Go Anime videos, and like even videos when I was just like like just just making whatever I want, and it didn't really rank up a lot of attention or views. And I felt like, man, I'm gonna be stuck in here for a while unless I do something big. So I guess when 2020 or maybe 2021 came around, I think it was 2020, the anniversary of FB1 was soon gonna was gonna have its anniversary. And I thought, I've gone like pretty far into making like 2 YouTube hoops so far. I might as well like see what I can try to create with BFB. So I did. I went all out. Just even like back then I didn't have like much of a big mindset on like hey, what jokes are gonna be funny here, what can I fit in here. I was just just going with the flow of it and just making whatever I want. And so when I uploaded it, I guess like a few days later it like exploded in popularity with the amount of views it's gotten. I was like, oh, okay, this, well, okay.
Well, these
now
people are here.
Yeah, now I can kind of see where I wanna be in the moment. I kind of see what I want to do with my life now.
Oh yeah, that's really sweet, man. It's I definitely think that's like, it's awesome to hear, because personally for myself, I find it so hard to look back at any of like my old stuff or my old animations. I think if like anyone plays one of my videos, I just have to leave the room. Even if it's a new video, I just have to hide out of there. But no, honestly, you've done an amazing job. And yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up the SPACErview. Thank you so much for being part of this. I really appreciate you taking the time to answer my silly questions.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you for having me on this. I've seen a bunch of, well, maybe not a bunch. There's like maybe 7 of them, but I've seen a few of the SPACErview videos. I'm thinking, hey, maybe one day I'll probably get an interview myself, and look at where I am now.
Ah, you're here. I know you regret it. There is actually 2 out of the landfill of terrible questions that I will ask you here from the fans or from the people.
Okay, what are the questions?
So they're just 2 of them. What is, out of all your YouTube poops, which one is your funniest in your opinion?
Funniest.
Going for a speed round.
Speed round. If we're talking about like most funniest one, honestly, I will kind of resort back to FB15 YouTube, that because that was like the most that was the one where I felt the most impressed with, because beforehand, especially with BFB14, I guess when FB14 YouTube came out, I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. I gotta try harder. I gotta be better at my craft. So when I rolled up the 15th episode, I just went all out and did just did whatever I want, and that's whatever I want was just killing off all the characters. And
I wanted blood.
but yeah. Yeah, I just something in me snapped. I wanted to kill the BFP characters.
Something inside me snapped. I couldn't control myself.
So yeah, when it comes to like the funniest and most creative YouTube, it's definitely the BFB 15 one, and I would suggest giving it a watch if you haven't already. It just for the viewers.
Oh yes, that'll be a link in the description. Actually, I'm looking at the reaction I made to that, the BFB 15 one, and your comments here from a year ago. God, it does not feel that long.
Yeah. Because I believe that was like the first reaction video I've ever gotten, and I felt like pretty proud of that. I felt pretty accomplished that finally someone is reacting to my own work now.
That's cool. I'm glad I was able to react to it, because it was hilarious, man. I think you can even see I was laughing 90% of the time. Your comment here it's really sweet to see people reacting to my YTPs and just making a video in general. I don't see quite often, so thank you very much. And that was a very sweet comment. I appreciate you commenting on that video.
Yeah, of course.
What I don't appreciate, though, we have a discussion to have, if you know what I'm going to say.
And no, I don't think I know what you're going to say.
Webs for Evs made a video called Every Reaction Ever.
Right. Yeah, okay. I see where this is going.
You see where this is going?
Hey, listen. If it's I have to sorta kind of maybe give it to Webs on this, because I've seen a lot of other YouTubers react to the object shows. Some people who weren't in the OSC, and some people who weren't like fascinating over the specific characters. So I think Webs kind of pulled a pretty like typical and like generic like parody of how these people react to the object show videos in general.
Okay, I'll let you off the hook on that one. I'll not. I already took the Webs Forever video as a personal attack anyway, so it's fine. I love that video. I think I did make a reaction to it, which was kind of ironic.
Right, yeah, I saw the video. I was like, Webs for Evs. Is that even your real name?
Yeah! Just being this complete asshole. And I'm like, is that even your name? Are you even a real person?
Maybe something? Are you plotting something behind our backs?
Maybe this is the reason that I haven't been able to interview them yet. Maybe something like that. Yeah, here it is. Did Web Server call me? I remember leaving a response to your comment being like, wrong side. You're meant to be on my side. What are you doing?
I was like, oopsie daisies.
Oopsie daisy. Looks like I made a fucky wucky. Oh my god. There's so many comments.
Looks like I have to get in the forever box.
The forever box. Get in the forever box. And what was funny though about that Webs Forever's video is so much of what they said, like saying they didn't like the pacing and kind of making fun of that, is exactly what I said in my reaction. And when I originally watched it, I'm like, God, is this actually a call out or?
Yeah, and then there was like this one line Webs made was like, the classic Mary Sue. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a female character that I don't like.
Yeah, women character I don't like, and I remember making that exact joke, being like, God, I hate women. And now I'm like, is this... Is this what I think it is? Because I remember in, like, one of the reactions, me being like, God, is that a woman? I hate those. And now I saw that and I'm like, God, is this, this seems a bit, I think it'd be hilarious. Just Webs Forever needs to upload a video just called I personally hate the universe book. Nah,
I mean, hey, time will tell. We'll never know if that's really gonna happen.
I hope so. I hope so. It would be fine if he did. I think it would be pretty funny if he made this whole video just making fun of my channel. Like, just tearing it apart. But nah, he's all cool. He's a cool guy, so he's allowed to say whatever he likes about me.
Yeah, he is cool, and he's allowed to say whatever he wants to say about me, even though he's probably never left a comment on one of my videos before. But again, time will tell. We'll never know.
We'll never know. I don't think he's ever left a comment on my video, but you know who has, and I always bring this up because I'm very hyper about it. Can you guess?
Who?
You'll never guess. Take a guess.
Take a guess. Okay. Well, clearly it's got to be someone that's you looked up to when watching their videos. Is it? I can't really come up with anything. There's like 1,000 like Objectshow YouTubers, and I can't even come up with one off the bat.
It's not even in the Objectshow community, which was even more surprising. Markiplier.
Oh. Wait, what?
Markiplier left a comment on one of my videos. And I have proof.
Okay, yeah, please do show me the proof so I can be as bewildered and flabbergasted as you.
Yes. Okay, hold on. It was in my... Because I made a reaction to In Space with Mark. And they left a comment on the trailer reaction. Let me share my screen, if I can do that.
Oh, right, yeah, the In Space with Markiplier. I figured that, the name of Markiplier just kind of, like, rolled a bit.
Yeah. Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Look at that, baby!
Oh my god. That is like an actual flex. Oh my
I
god.
know, right? It's the one thing I can flex about. Also, what the fuck is this video? Cum intro? Oh, I'll just save that for later.
Sure, yeah.
I'll just save that for later.
I don't think anyone can pull a flex like that, especially for someone who's kind of in the OSC, sort of. I don't think I've seen like another OSC creator from Markiplier himself.
Kinda. I am the universe book from the OSC.
Right.
How
yeah.
Could you forget
you kind of like self-insert yourself in a BFB episode once. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. I was in BFB 18 as a recommended character. And then, in BFB 30, where they showed all the recommended characters off at the end of, like, it was like a huge list of most of them that showed up in BFB 30 at the end. I was like one of the... Yeah, I was the one that they kind of forgot.
Oh.
And I remember just being like, where's Facebook? Where is... Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the crying corner got a lot more moist that day.
So, like, your only appearance is in, like, one episode?
I think I'm in a few. I think I'm in, like, BFB 20 and 21 or something, but I think I actually got my first Sonas in there as well. I think Aiden's in there from the packs, like an early beta of Aiden.
Oh, okay. I guess I might have to, like rewatch, like, one of the episodes and find the words Aiden on it.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be Aiden. It would be under a different name. But if you find Spacebook, you'll know it's me. Okay, this is an interesting one, which I might put my 2 cents in as well. Which
Okay.
voting system throughout any show do you think worked the best?
Yeah, because that's a pretty good question because you've got vote to eliminate and vote to save.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, honestly, I feel like I have been like pretty fond of the whole vote to save thing because with the recent amount of Teapot episodes and hell even BFB episodes as well, there was like lots of vote battles on like, hey, who's gonna get out of the danger zone and who's gonna be the last person safe. Like, take a look at what was one fight, Fiery versus Flower versus Blocky versus Taco. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we all sense that Taco was gonna be the second one safe, but then she's gone. She's gone. She got roped into the battle last second and lost.
Yeah, by 1 vote. I totally agree with you. I think it actually kind of encourages kind of more of an interaction from the community, because I think a good oh god, the Alzheimer's are kicking in. A good example for vote to eliminate not really working as good as it should is Spongy being eliminated in BFB 16.
Right.
I actually didn't vote for that episode because I already knew that Spongy got so many votes that there was no point. But I never felt that in like vote to save because I was always battling to kind of keep that character up there. But in vote to eliminate, if one person's already got a load of votes, there's nothing really much you can do.
Yeah, it's really like, what's the point of the surprise and like, seeing who's gonna get eliminated in the next episode. So, when you have vote to save in play, it brings up like a bit of a more intriguing more of an intriguing show and like a playoff of all things.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's definitely a lot more engaging. But I think that's the final question, and we're going to wrap up the interview here. Thank you again so much for joining in this interview, Bandy. I know it must have been a bit of a pain to try to get time for this, and I appreciate you taking the time for this. Even though it's just a silly little interview, I really do appreciate it. Everyone here, go subscribe to Bendy Fans Animations. They're insanely talented and they deserve all of the subscribers and all the love you can give them. Is there anything in particular you want to shout out, Bendy, before we end today?
Someone to shout out. I've honestly, I have like pretty like come a long way with where I am when it comes to making videos and just being a part of the Objectshow community. If there's like one friend I want to give a personal shout out to, go and check out Miles Doodle's Arts channel. I guarantee he's not gonna like the reaction of me just like giving him a shout out in this interview, but he is actually incredibly talented. You should see like the amount of like animations that he makes. Like I think he posts like weekly, is maybe not weekly, but like every 2 weeks, and his animations like come out really good.
Fair.
And he's also got a cool little Discord server, so and anyone who's watching this, do consider joining as well. That would be very tight.
Ooh, very cool. I'll put the link in the description to that as well. But yeah, thank you for joining us, everyone. I don't know how to do an outro. I've been doing YouTube for 3 years and I still can't figure out how to do an outro. So what I'm going to do instead is just stare directly at you into the camera.
By camera, you mean just the profile pictures?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I've had my camera on this whole time recording my face.
Oh, gee. Well, lucky me, because I don't have my camera on, so you
That's
don't
what
have
you
to
think.
see my face. Oh, no.
That's what you think, but this window has a great view.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, let me just end this now.